on 21st September. So the next time some people go back to work would be Tuesday. I'm sure they will.
I like how you put it. Some people.
Yeah, because some people will be working, but some people will be, because if we all stop working, everything will stop. So some have to keep working while some stop. Nathan Kukui, Salome Hansen, gentleman, lady, good morning.
Good morning, Bernardino.
How are you guys doing?
We are holding up.
Ghana, you know, you are so Ghanaian, eh?
Oh.
How I think,
We are holding up.
you are so Ghanaian.
We're looking forward to a semi-long weekend for us.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
we'll be here on Monday, God willing, and the creek don't rise.
Yes. But at least they won't have the same tempo.
Yes.
It won't have the same. It won't have the same tempo. So there's less traffic.
There's less everything.
So it's better.
Yeah.
So where are we going with the weekend papers? What are they saying?
Well, let's see what the Daily Graphic says. Voters register opens today for verification. Exercise lasts 8 days and ends on September the 25th. Okay. Also, hotel operations in slow start. 46,000 people living with HIV refuse treatment, says the AIDS Commission. Yeah. No. And Africa World Airlines ready to use whole airports.
Yeah.
Yep. The Ghanaian Times says EC begins voter registration exhibition today at 33,367 centers nationwide. CBG pays customers of defunct financial institutions. Civil servants warned against engaging in partisan politics. And car snatcher jailed 12 years for attempted robbery.
Daily Guide, Baumia opens fire on NDC. Voters exhibition today. Offenders not voting. Coup doctor out of prison. And 45 Get Fund projects can't be traced.
Wow.
The Chronicle says NDC opposes every good policy. Sinohydro, free SHS, drones were all shot down by our opponents. That's Dr. Baumia speaking. Sankore Bullet fails to respond to bullet call. 3 policemen interdicted for aiding scam, but names missing in court documents. And hoteliers appeal to government. Help us rescue collapsing business.
The Daily Statesman, 41.2 million Ghana cedi dubious claims blocked as Akufo-Addo clears 96% of NDC Get Fund arrears. Also, NADMO simulates December elections. Ghana Medical Association kicks against Okada. Yeah.
The New Weekend Crusading Guide says Cocobot shreds NDC manifesto as it provides detailed responses to agro sector. Kweku Bako lied on the matter of sword cutting ceremonies by Mahama, not having PM Not My Business MCE. Aggrieved Nure Dubiasi NDC members vow to vote skirt and blouse. And Canada Japan to fight judge today goes to Supreme Court over jurisdiction on its contempt case.
The Herald, Akufo-Addo appoints 80 judges under 4 years despite shortage of office space and bungalows. President's chair of arrogance sparking rage gets VH chauffeured into private home, radio stations and others. Cocoa Board officials 35 motorbike gift to NPP campaign raises questions. And Statistical Service confirms Ghana's economy is collapsing.
The Ghanaian Observer says Akufo-Addo completes 27 Mahama E-Block projects. Get Fund boss. Make Ghana-made cars affordable. Baumia charges VW et al. And GJA organizing secretary gets top Tobinco job. Plus, mass defection hits NDC in Eastern region. And a group says MPP will provide Okada riders decent jobs.
All right, Business and Financial Times. Scrap wasteful tax incentives and reform tax systems. Civil society organizations, yes. ICOMs push KIA, that's the airport revenue collection, up. And CPG MD honored at Ghana Development Awards. Also, hoteliers present speedy recovery plan to government.
The Finder says ICOMs helping KIA exceed revenue target. Alan Chematin. Accounts of clients of defunct companies duly credited. CBGMD. Register exhibition kicks off. And Obri Brahim cuts doubts on Andy Apiakubi's candidature. And Chinese government hands over medical supplies to Ghana.
Let me take you online. CityNewsroom.com leads with Canada Japan challenges jurisdiction of court hearing his contempt case. Also, don't hoodwink Ghanaians with Okada promise. MPP MP to Mahama. Meanwhile, Mahama urges NDC supporters to verify vote names in voters register. And next NDC government will make water, electricity accessible to all by 2025. Guess who's talking? General Mosquito. General Mosquito. Now, citybusinessnews.com. Tax Justice Coalition joins calls for scrapping of a Japa royalties deal. Also, Cocoa Board closes purchases for 2020 light crop cocoa season. Meanwhile, ex-staff of defunct microfinance and SNLs to be paid after outstanding issues are resolved. This is the receiver. And mobile network consumers express mixed reactions to reduction in talk tax. My Joy Online, Ghanaian woman extradited to US to face over $10 million fraud-related charges and Sakawa.
Hey.
Also, MPPs want to meet Kennedy's Japan top media foundation's list of most abusive persons on radio. Meanwhile, no light, no vote. Residents of Amansia South demonstrate over lack of electricity. Now, if you go to Star FM, nurses, midwives to begin sit-down strike on Monday. Abusive language on radio want to meet tops all. And NDC manifesto promises on health already being implemented. This is Dr. Chum Nyama, whose voice we quoted in the earlier story. Other stories, Ghana News Agency, woman age 57 among candidates for the BEC 2020. Also, CBP leadership focuses on building party structures. And Ghana commemorates World Patient Safety Day. There's a photo of Alan Trematin also in there. BBC says Europe races to slow COVID-19 surge. That's not such a big story these days.
Charlie.
A few months ago, it's a COVID-19 surge. But we're told the UK, France, and Spain plan new restrictions as the WHO warns of an alarming transmission surge in Europe.
Yeah, Israel is going to lockdown today.
Charlie. So, and UK's health secretary say they don't rule out an England-wide lockdown. So this is a slow, painful pandemic.
It really is.
Let's start with the graphic.
Okay, in the graphic, elections. The voter register opens today for verification, and this is
Nice.
going to last for 8 days. The process to get a credible voters register for the December 7, 2020 elections entered a crescendo today with the commencement of the exhibition of the provisional register. The 8-day exercise is being carried out in all 33,367 polling stations and will present an opportunity for registered voters to correct their records, making inclusions and table objections to ineligible persons on the voters' roll. It's the final stage of the process to clean up the register. The chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Mrs. Jean Mensah, said it had deployed 73,107 officials across the exhibition centers to ensure a successful exercise. Speaking at the Let the Citizens Know series in Accra, she said the officials of the EC that the EC have deployed are made up of exhibition supervisors, deputy exhibition supervisors, verification officers, as well as COVID-19 ambassadors, whose role is to help enforce the COVID-19 safety protocols. And
Great stuff.
also the short code will be activated.
Yeah, what's the short code there?
1422.
$1422.
But you're going to pay 13
Yeah.
pesos.
30 pesos.
30 pesos.
Yes.
So what do I do? Just 1422.
So
and
you
put
send
my
a
name?
text message to the number, to short code 1422, and just put your voter's ID number.
And then they'll tell me if I'm
And you
registered.
send it, and they'll send your.
I'll try that
information
before
to
the
you.
show
Yes.
ends.
But then they add, and if you go to the the Ghanaian Times page 12, it says that while you can check the place, you'll be required to visit the exhibition center to correct errors, if any. They'll also be publishing an exceptions list
Nice one.
of those who flouted the regulations of the registration exercise. And she said both multiple registrants and persons on the exceptions list will be barred from voting in the elections, adding that persons on the exceptions list could seek review while further
Meanwhile,
action will be
NDC flag bearer John Mahama has advised members of the party, his party, to verify their names in the provisional voters register during the exhibition. Addressing the chiefs and people of Amantin in Atebubu Amantin constituency to kickstart his 3-day tour of the Bono East region, Mr. Mahama said it will be unfortunate for any eligible voter to be disenfranchised due to failure to verify their names. Let's continue with Daily Guide.
Yeah, let's go there and see what Dr. Baumia is saying. He's opened fire on NDC. Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Baumia has said the National Democratic Congress, NDC, has a penchant for opposing anything good for the country, especially when it is being proposed by the New Patriotic Party. He said the posture of the NDC elements shows clearly that they do not have the country's welfare at heart and are only interested in propaganda and how they can capture power and turn around to mismanage everything. The Vice President opened fire in Takoradi in the Western region on Tuesday when he cut the sod for the commencement of work on the first ever interchange in the regional capital. Quote, the NDC has a trademark in opposing everything. Any good initiative we bring out, they oppose it. First they say it is impossible, then when we do it, they say they can do it better. Okay, he said a lot, but that's
Actually, it was another headline
sorry.
that started quoting the things. I think Nathan read some headline.
Yeah, this is in the Chronicle. So the Chronicle goes on to say, Dr. Bamia says $2 billion Sino Hydro, free SHS, drones were all shot down by our opponents.
Expect Mr. Mohammed's response in the
You
coming
see,
days.
Yep.
it will be coming. Okay, all right. Should we?
Well, yeah, let's stay with the Chronicle, and on page 3 of the Chronicle, there are two interesting stories. One talks about the police, another talks about somebody who thought he was bulletproof but wasn't.
Oh Lord.
Now, the first story says the Ghana Police Service has interdicted 3 personnel for allegedly aiding a 46-year-old shipping consultant, Owen Kwame Frimpong, alias Darling Boy, and a 39-year-old Evans Oreku Amofa to defraud a businessman of $29,000, equivalent to 163,000 cedis. The police personnel, whose names were not stated in the document presented before the Accra Circuit Court by the prosecutor, Inspector Eric Poby, were said to have helped the alleged fraudsters. Inspector Poby told the court, presided over by Mr. Emmanuel Esando, yesterday that the complainant in the case, whose name was also not stated, is into various businesses and has an office located at Adjuyingano in Accra. Now, the other story is from the Ahafo region, and that region's police command has confirmed the death of a 25-year-old man, Charles Otain, popularly known as Bullet,
Charlie.
at Sankore in the Sunafo South District. Now, Bullet reportedly shot himself to prove to people that no bullet could penetrate his body, but died after the incident.
The bullet didn't read the memo.
Well, yes. So according to the story, it says this said Bullet is a follower of the MPP. He decided to paint the town with party flags as the elections drew closer. Now, according to ACP Kwame Low, in the course of the exercise, the deceased thought it wise to go back and wear his fugu, which he claimed was bulletproof. So essentially grabs his fugu.
We've seen many of these cases. All right, now, Kuki, I know you have a couple of papers.
Yes, I do.
Statesman, Herald, and co. Let me just do a quick one. Canada Japan challenges jurisdiction of court here in his contempt case. This is on citynewsroom.com. MP for Asin Central in the Central Region, Canada Japan, has filed a suit at the Supreme Court challenging the jurisdiction of the High Court. This story is actually in the new Crusading Guide as well. Mr. Japan made a statement deemed contemptuous in the case in which Susan Bando and Christopher Kote had sued him and 3 others in a land dispute. And then on Monday, the High Court was forced to adjourn the contempt case because Mr. Japan did not appear in court due to failure of the register of the court to personally serve him with a summons in the land dispute case. Now, he's gone to a higher court to try to challenge the jurisdiction of the lower court in the contempt case. Now, still on Mr. Japan, if you go to my journal online, MPPs, Kennedy Japan, and Wuntumi top media foundation list of most abusive persons on radio. The Media Foundation for West Africa has named the Ashanti Regional Chairman of governing MPP Bernard Nchubu, also known as Chairman Wuntumi, as the most abusive individual on radio. In this August report on language monitoring on radio, the regional chairman was closely followed by MP for Asin Central Kennedy Japan and host of Power FM's Inside Politics Mugabe Masi. On the monitoring period, August 1 to 31, a total of 1,019 radio programs were monitored on 15 selected radio stations across the country. The program included news bulletins, political and current affairs discussions aired on 15 radio stations. And the report said a total of 99 indecent expressions were recorded by 34 individuals. Their expressions are made up of insulting and offensive comments, unsubstantiated allegations, threats, provocative remarks, expressions or comments promoting divisiveness. And the 34 individuals who made the indecent expressions featured on the radio programs as hosts, discussants or panelists, interviewees and callers. And then they give a breakdown of some of the people. For example, Ashanti, Kumasi-based Wuntumi Radio, 34 indecent expressions on their morning show, Oman FM 28 on their 2 major programs, Boiling Point and National Agenda, Ash FM 28, Boiling Point, Keynote 3, National Agenda 1, Power FM 14, all in their late afternoon show titled Inside Politics.
The funny thing is, it makes them more popular.
Charlie?
Isn't that ironic?
Well,
anyway, let's go back to the Daily Graphic. Hotel operations in slow start. So the pandemic is still impacting our hospitality industry. Barely 2 weeks after the opening of the Kotoka International Airport to commercial flights, hotels in Accra are yet to experience an upsurge in patronage. The Daily Graphic's inquiries at some of the hotels and guest houses in the capital have indicated that although there is an uptick in foreign clients after the opening of the airport, patronage still remains low. It became clear that hotels that rely relied on foreign guests bore much of the brunt of the low patronage compared with their counterparts that drew on local clients. The hotels and restaurants subsector of the hospitality industry is one of the greatest hit by the coronavirus disease pandemic. Since the lockdown in March this year to contain the spread of the virus, the industry has laid off 40,000 workers, according to the Ghana Hotels Association. And according to the Statistical Service, the hotels and restaurants subsector of the economy contracted by 74.9% in the second quarter of this year.
Okay.
So they visited some hotels to see what was going on. And
All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's do some COVID-related numbers. But you mentioned earlier that people didn't want to hear the numbers or they didn't care, but the numbers are still there. So this one is on page 14 of the Ghanaian Times. It says at least 6,976 people have been tested for COVID-19 at the Kotoka International Airport following the reopening of the country's air borders to international arrivals. Out of the figure, 16 persons have tested positive for the virus, out of which 4 have been hospitalized. Now, this was disclosed by Kojo Nkrumah, who is the Minister of Information, during the media interaction on Wednesday.
We will commence flights to Ho Airport soon. Africa World Airlines. Story by Benjamin Aklama from Ho. The Africa World Airlines will soon start using the Ho Airport, pending approval from the Ghana Airport Company Limited. The announcement follows an inspection of the airport by officials of the local airline company. Africa World Airlines, an indigenous domestic air travel operating company, says it is satisfied with the state of the airport and will soon communicate its readiness to fly the route after inspecting the facility Thursday, September 17. Now, the airport, according to government, has been completed and awaiting airline companies to fly the route since 2018. But the reps of AWA say they were not officially informed about the readiness of the airport. The chief safety officer of the airline, Captain Kwesi Oting, however, said the company is satisfied with the facility, and they say that it meets our safety standards, and very soon they will start flying there.
All right, let's talk about people living with HIV. 46,000 people living with HIV refuse treatment. This is from the Ghana AIDS Commission. About 46,000 people living with HIV have refused treatment, the Ghana AIDS Commission has revealed. According to the Director General of the Commission, Mr. Tremere Atuahene, that development had presented a challenge to the National HIV Epidemic Control and Viral Suppression Program. Yeah. He said the situation was one of the major difficulties the Commission was facing in its bid to prevent the national prevalence of... Now, the numbers are 342,307, and they're trying to prevent that number from going up. What is equally disturbing is that the situation had rather resulted in new infections. And
now that you're talking health, nurses and midwives said they will go on strike from September 21. That story is quite a number of places. This is a Citi Newsroom version. Nurses, midwives, physician assistants, and anesthetists in the public sector have been directed to withdraw their services from Monday, September 21. The GRNA served notice of the intended strike via a statement Thursday, September 17. The strike is part of their demands for improved conditions of service. The association said the government stance during the negotiations fell foul of Act 651 of the Labour Law. Section 97 of the cited law deals with issues of good faith for stakeholders, which the association appears to have an issue with. Now, because of the impending strike, the association said the general public is advised to seek medical attention from other health facilities. The decision comes after a series of meetings with government. This is not good in a COVID era.
All right. Still on health, the Ghana Medical Association is weighing into the Okada discussion.
Great.
This is in the Daily Statesman. The Vice President of the Ghana Medical Association, Dr. Frank Surbo, has explained that most of the road accidents in the country occur as a result of irresponsible activities of Okada operators. Hence, the decision by the NDC flag bearer, John Dramani Mahama, to legalize it for commercial purposes must not be encouraged. Granting an interview on a local radio station in Kumasi, Pure FM, he stated that supporting it with the law will not stop the continuous exhibition of lawlessness, such as jumping traffic and flouting road traffic regulations. To this end, he has asked the opposition NDC to focus more on addressing pressing issues that confront the country, saying Okada legalization isn't one. Quote, what is the meaning of the legalization of Okada that we're talking about? It is illegal for them to jump traffic, but what do we see? It'll be impossible to regulate them. We shouldn't start this. Let's look at the statistics. Vehicles are in high numbers in the country, but most accidents recorded in the country are from motors. That's Okada Okada. We have a problem. We should be looking at our problems and how to address them, as there are clear issues we need to address.
Now, still in that paper, there's something about the Get Fund project, something.
Yes, there is. So President Akufo-Addo clears 96% of the NDC Get Fund arrears. The administrator of the Ghana Education Trust Fund, Get Fund, Richard Ampofo-Buedu, yesterday disclosed that the Akufo-Addo government has cleared 96% of debts inherited from the Mahama administration. He added that the government has also saved 41.2 million Ghana cedis as a result of due diligence undertaken on claims by contractors for past projects. According to him, it was achieved due to the strategic measures put in place to bring back sanity to a chaotic fund. Quote, as a result of the loan that came in, we've been able to pay 96% of the liabilities that we took over. Also, out of 21 contractors that took Get Fund to court, 13 of them have pulled out because of the evidence that others have been paid. Mr.
Right.
Buedu
There are a
said.
couple of COCOBOT stories I heard. I heard one on the Crusading Guide and one in the Herald or something.
The
Yes.
Herald- yes.
Something about Coco bicycle, motorbike. And then
yes.
something about a chair being carried somewhere. So just give us the quick. We have only 2 minutes.
The
so
Herald, okay, the Herald quickly, the president's, they call it the chair of arrogance.
Oh, Lord.
And yeah, they even talk about how it is chauffeured around in luxury. So President Akufo-Addo has given Ghanaians grounds to worry and ask why he moves around the country with his presidential chair, something Ghanaian tradition considers an insult to a host by a guest, except the chieftaincy setup where traditional rulers are allowed to carry special stools and skins around. This display of monarchical behavior
Oh, Lord.
might not be the news which is annoying many Ghanaians who had seen the act repeated at countless events and are asking questions with the motive behind it. The presidential chair is chauffeured in a Toyota V8 Land Cruiser as part of President Akufo-Addo's convoy to every part of the country.
And there are a couple of COCOBOT stories as well.
Yeah, if you go to the new Weekend Crusading Guide on page 3, it says COCOBOT shreds NDC manifesto. So essentially, the COCOBOT has taken the NDC manifesto and has given responses to a lot of their major policy points and the things the NDC wants to do. It's quite extensive. It's on pages 4, 8, 9, and 10 of that newspaper. So for those who are interested, please grab a copy.
All right. Now, on this side, it really has to do with a donation that somebody at COCOBOT made. So the man seen as the eyes, ears, and voice of the Food and Agriculture Minister, Dr. Wusiri Akuto, at the Ghana Cocoa Board, has made a shocking donation to the Eastern Regional Office of the NPP, which has left many people asking questions about his source of funding. Dr. Yawedu Ampoma, who is currently the Special Advisor to the Agric Minister on Cocoa Affairs, ahead of the general election in December, has given the NPP campaign team in the Eastern region 35 motorbikes at a price of 4,000 cedis each. So questions are being raised.
Finally,
about that.
Savannah region, North Gonja residents appeal for bridge over White Volta. That story says residents of North Gonja of Savannah are appealing to the government to construct a bridge over the White Volta for easy access to Tamale. Now, the White Volta provides the shortest route from Daboya to the capital of the Northern region, which serves as the major market center of the area. Thank you for that. We'll be back with Citi Business News. Stay with us.
The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.